Hi, wonderful, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the King Jesus Ministry. So today I'm going to be talking about my experience with King Jesus and how King Jesus arrested me. Yes, he did arrested me. He did arrested me. Um, Many years ago, before I was conceived, I think King Jesus must have had an encounter with my parents, just like the angels had an encounter with Mary and said to Mary, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are thee amongst women, and blessed the fruit of the womb. The same way the angels met my mom and said, Hail, Justina, blessed are thee at your womb, and blessed the fruit of your womb. So this is a story I wanted to share. The story I just discovered lately that all along, even before my conception, King Jesus has had interest in my life. He had interest in me. And I will go back to history and the Bible. I remember when King Jesus died on the cross, and he was buried in a tomb. And after 3 days, the disciples went to see him, and they discovered that he was no longer there. But then they met those angels in the form of human being, who now said to them, why are you looking for the dead among the living? So then the angels now said, the same Jesus who died on the cross will one day come again. Will one day come again to this earth. But this time he was going to come in his glory. Not as a newborn, not as a bird, not as in flesh. He was going to come in his glory. So little did I know that I was going to play a role in the second coming of King Jesus. Little did I know that my parents were going to play a role in the second coming of King Jesus. Little did I know that of all countries or nations, King Jesus chose my village, chose me as a means through which he will come for his second coming. So that ends my title, which says Arrested by King Jesus. I was indeed arrested by King Jesus. Before I was born, I was even conceived. I believe the angels met my mom, and they told her that she was going to have a daughter that is going to be born with a guidance spirit. And they, from there, they were going to guide her on the process concerning my birth, how I was going to be born in a certain houses with certain house number and everything, certain month. So all this my parents kept secret. They kept it away from me even when I was growing up. They knew I was a special child, but because they were meant to keep the top secret for King Jesus. So I did not know anything surrounding my birth. So I was actually born with a guidance spirit. My spirit was locked into a guidance spirit, special, and this guidance spirit is a special assistant of King Jesus. And this guidance spirit that I was born with, she was meant to come to the world with me and prepare the way for the second coming of King Jesus. So because she was going to assume my role in the realm, she was going to take the role of my spirit in the realm. And because of that, I was actually cut off from the spiritual world. So I was living a physical world in this world. I did not know there was a place called spiritual realm. I did not know that people actually, when they sleep, they leave, they come out of their body and they operate in the spiritual realm and they later go in. Because I had a guidance spirit who was living that part for me, that life for me. So I was actually spiritually blind, and my spiritual ear, blind and deaf. My spiritual ear, I was deaf, I was blind. So I was ignorant, oblivious of the life, of the spiritual life. This was to conceal the secret behind the second coming of King Jesus. So though I was used as a vessel for the preparation of the second coming of King Jesus, but I never knew anything about my life. And my parents were, I would say, the most secretive people on earth, and they kept us secret. And I also, all throughout my year, I knew that my parents did certain thing, certain time. I was born in certain house number. We had to move into another house number that is peculiar to King Jesus, because I was born with this heavenly being. So there are some numbers that are heavenly oriented, and this being has to live in all those numbers, because this number is a number peculiar to King Jesus. So my parents had to move me from the number where I was born in, and then to another number, and which that second number was known as the wealth, King Jesus wealth. That was where my King Jesus began to send down his wealth to my parents for the upkeep of me and my guidance spirit. Eventually, my father had to move to his own house, and he made sure he maintained that number. So all these things happened. I grew up, certain things at certain time, certain age in life. I just discovered that at certain age, time in life, the angels will trigger things, and I'll find myself in a certain place. Like when I was about to clock 13 years, the angels, we used to be Catholic, and the angels wanted us to know more about Christ. That was when an incident happened to my dad, and he began to seek solution. And from there, he was led to a Pentecostal church. And in that Pentecostal church, he brought my mom into that church. And from there, we, the children, started going to the Pentecostal church. And from there, I began to learn about the teaching of King Jesus. And from there, I became baptized, even though as a Catholic, I was baptized as a baby. But here, I had to be immersed in water in the river. And I was officially baptized. And since that time, I knew certain things were happening. It was like each time I was to clock certain age, King Jesus will send a destiny helper. Because my job here was to house the guidance spirit who is doing the administrative work for King Jesus' second coming. So I had to be moved from certain location to certain without me knowing. All these were to be in sync, to synchronize as it is written in heaven. So I had to move certain dates, certain place. Things had to happen in a certain way. But I did not know why all this were happening until when it was eventually time for King Jesus to reveal himself to me. I have reached the age that add up to the number of that house number. And that was the time he wanted to make himself known to me. Unknown to me, things were happening awkwardly, and I was like, why is all this happening to me? I didn't know that everything that was happening to me were programmed by King Jesus. So I saw myself moving to this house, a new house number in the UK, and it was in this house number. Then I was made to, I sensed a powerful force enveloped me, and I saw myself singing, like connecting to heaven. I don't even know how it was happening. I didn't know that it was time for King Jesus to come down and make himself known. So I remember one moment I was singing, and I actually my spirit actually left from this world. So in that process, I saw someone sitting on a throne, and this person was floating like from the sky and coming towards me, floating, but it was kind of blurry. I couldn't see very well because my spirit is locked inside my guidance spirit, so I don't see very well. I only see what they want me to see, and what they don't want me to see, they will block me off from it. So this being started coming, sitting on his throne in white apparel, coming, and I was straining my eyes, like looking, trying to figure out who is this person coming. And that was when I heard this voice, and this voice just close by me here said, "This is King Jesus." I have never heard this voice before. I have never knew that I had a duplicate all along. But it was the time she was made to make herself known to me. And then King Jesus then came sitting on his throne and sat down there in front of me. And then this voice now said, "Ask King Jesus to help you win the lottery money." And then at that moment I was confused, and I didn't know, because I didn't know what to say that day, but I didn't ask. And within a second, King Jesus disappeared, how he came to me. So before he came, I was positioned, my body was positioned in a certain way. And I stood like that, and he came. Then I was told to remain in that position, so that when he goes, I can then come out from. So that day marked the beginning. I began to question myself. I said, who is this voice? Who is this person that I heard? Then I thought it was my late mom talking to me. But later I came to discover that she was not the one. So guys, in my next video, I'm going to talk about how this guardian angel revealed herself to me and why she had to make herself unknown to me for many years until that appointed time. So if you really want to know more about my life, my story, why not subscribe to my channel? Do not fail to turn up your bell notification because I have a lot of story to talk about my life, my experience with King Jesus. I have tried to make video like this, but because it was not yet time for me to make this video, so they wouldn't let me. They up there said it's not time, but I think now they said it is now time because I have crossed the hurdles and finished the task that was set down for me. So I am going to tell you more stories about how King Jesus chose me and decided to make me a vessel for his glory. Until then, I say bye-bye.